Right, so chances are you clicked on this video right now because you don't have a gym or any weights nearby to actually have access to. And that's okay, because you know, with the power of your own body weight, you can actually sculpt a pretty amazing physique with minimal to no equipment at home. But that is if you have the right exercise plan in place, because I'm going to be honest with what's going on in the world right now. There's a lot of workouts out there at home that people are showing online that really are just fancy and are good for getting views for the actual creator of the workout, but for the people actually following it and getting results, it's gonna do nothing. Because as you may have seen from my transformation video in 2018, I've been doing this for quite some time to know what works and what doesn't. So in this video, what I'm gonna do right now is that I'm actually gonna go through 8 exercises in total: 2 for upper body push, 2 for upper body pull, 2 for legs, and then 2 for the core. Every exercise is gonna be adapted to each strength level, whether you're a beginner, intermediate, or advanced. And then I'm gonna give you a template of what a workout routine with all these exercises may actually look like for you. And if you are interested in any of the equipment highlighted in this video, you can actually check out the description below, where I have calisthenics equipment that I've used myself and I personally recommend for at-home workouts. Right, so first things first. Yeah, well done, Jake. Anyway, first things first, we're gonna cover vertical push, right? So in the gym, we would usually do overhead press, right? Shoulder pressing with dumbbells, barbells, X, Y, Z. But with body weight, what we do instead is that we kind of do it upside down, right? Instead, we actually press our body weight overhead with pike push-ups and handstand push-ups, right? So this is obviously primarily gonna target the shoulders and triceps and a bit of the chest as well. Someone who is a beginner may wanna try this at an incline by doing something like elevated incline pike push-ups, right? And then as you get stronger, you simply lower the incline where your hands are placed to the point where you're actually doing it on the floor. And that's where obviously you progress more to the intermediate stage of pike push-ups, where you can actually then, instead of actually elevating the hands to make it easier, you can actually keep your hands on the floor and elevate your feet to make it harder, right? Obviously that's going to put more stress and load on the shoulders as a whole. And also you can actually elevate the hands to a full range of motion, so you're actually completely mimicking like a full range of motion overhead press, but instead you're doing it with your body weight, right? And as you get stronger with these, you can actually now do these on the wall with chest-to-wall handstand push-ups, and eventually actually doing freestanding handstand push-ups. For horizontal push, we know that in the gym, of course, nothing beats chest day, nothing beats bench press, right? But with body weight, we can make things very tough for the chest, shoulders, and triceps, right? And we do this with progressing the push-up, right? So obviously, as a beginner, you want to start with, as I said, somewhat similar like the pike push-ups. You want to start with elevating your hands with incline push-ups, and then as you get stronger, you lower the incline to make it harder to the point where you're actually doing push-ups on the ground. And then obviously to make this harder, as you progress more to intermediate stage, instead, you actually want to lean your body weight further forward, your shoulders going past your hands, and you can do something what's known as the lean forward push-up, right? This is really going to build a lot of strength and a lot of muscle in the chest in particular. And then as you get stronger with these, you can actually progress more to advanced push-ups, where instead of actually having your feet on the floor, we can actually scrap that and just do no feet push-ups, such as tuck planche push-ups, as I'll be showing in this video, to actually make it even harder and actually further build strength and muscle in the chest, shoulders, and triceps, right? And these 2 exercises I mentioned in this video, the pike push-up and progressing the push-up itself, I actually link up a video right here of a video I've made on this channel recently of the only 2 push-up exercises you need, which basically goes from beginner to intermediate to all the way to the advanced of the 2 exercises I've just mentioned right now. Now, with upper push done, I'm going to move on to upper pull, right? Our pulling muscles, so our back and biceps. And so with vertical pulling, we know in the gym, the most standard one is obviously going on a lat pull down machine and doing some lat pull downs, right? So with our body weight instead, we simply do it with our body weight, as I said, with chin-ups and pull-ups. And understandably, obviously, as I was there myself, I struggled with pull-ups and chin-ups for ages, right? So obviously, when you're starting out with these, I encourage you to do these assisted, right? If you have gymnastic rings, that's awesome. You can hang them underneath a pull-up bar. But if you're just doing this with like a door pull-up bar, I personally myself actually just elevated my feet on a chair and did assisted chin-ups and pull-ups from there. And as I got stronger with them, I was able to do full range of motion, unassisted chin-ups and pull-ups, which is more of that, you know, intermediate stage. And as you get comfortable with these, you can do, let's say, 10 plus pull-ups. You can actually then start progressing towards the 1-arm chin-up, right? And 1-arm pull-ups. And a great exercise for that is mixed grip chin-ups, where you simply shift more of your body weight onto one side. So again, you're shifting more weight and workload onto your muscles to actually get bigger and stronger at home. Now with horizontal pull, right? We know with horizontal pulling in the gym and weights, the main exercise we cover is rowing, right? And obviously that can be barbell rows, dumbbell rows, cable rows, the list goes on. But as I said, with bodyweight, we can do this with our body weight, as I've said, right, with body rows, right? And obviously with beginner to intermediate to advanced, really the main progression with these is where your feet and your legs are placed. So obviously the easiest way of this is doing them with your bent legs if you're completely horizontal to the bar, and then as you get stronger you can actually straighten your legs out, so you actually have to pull more of your body weight. And then to make this even harder, you can then do decline rows by elevating your feet to make it even harder and grow a big, thick, good looking set of back muscles. And like with the upper push, I've also got a full video on YouTube covering these 2 pulling exercises I've covered, so I'll link up a card here of the 2 pulling exercises that you need to do that you aren't doing right now. So check that out, and you're gonna love the gains. Now as the upper body is done, I'm gonna move on to the lower body, right? And obviously with here, we're gonna focus on the legs, as I've said. And obviously in the gym, we would simply use heavy weights, right? Dumbbell squats, barbell squats, the list goes on. But with bodyweight, what we do instead is to make it really challenging and actually, you know, effectively grow the legs, is actually progress onto doing squats on one leg, you know what I mean? And so obviously the most common exercise that people know about is pistol squats, right? And obviously when starting out, you're most likely not going to have the strength or at least the flexibility and mobility to do these, right? So someone who is starting out on their calisthenics and bodyweight journey may want to try something like a strict step up, where they simply do unilateral step ups on something like a chair, box, whatever's best for you. And as you get stronger, you could do something like an archer squat, side to side squat, so you're placing more load on each leg. And then eventually, as you get more stronger, you can actually then do full one leg squats and full pistol squats with a full range of motion. As you've noticed with these exercises, it's like instead of actually adding weight to barbells or dumbbells to make the exercise more intense for our muscles, we simply actually decrease leverage and actually push or pull a large proportion of body weight to replicate that same stimulus. Do you see what I mean? So with a squat exercise covered, obviously more for the posterior chain of the lower body, we know that obviously the most common exercise in the gym is things like deadlifts, Romanian deadlifts, XYZ, right? Whereas with bodyweight, I'd say the best exercise that can kind of best replicate some kind of results like that is the bodyweight Nordic curl, or glute ham raises, however you want to call it, right? Now obviously this does actually require a bit of creativity if you're working out at home, but obviously what I'm going to do after explaining the exercise itself, I'm going to give you some choices you can do at home by simply utilizing what you've got around you, right? So with this hip hinge of the glute ham raise, or the bodyweight Nordic curl, whatever you want to call it, right? Obviously the more you go forward and the more you extend your hips and your legs, the harder it's going to be. So obviously when you're first starting out with these, you want to have your hips and knees slightly bent and actually just not travel so far forward. So obviously you won't have to pull up as much of your body weight. And as you get stronger, you can simply increase that hinge angle. So you're actually going to be lowering down and pulling up more of your body weight. And obviously the hardest exercise or variation of this is actually going all the way down, where your hips are fully extended and your legs are straight on the floor, and pulling all the way back up. Obviously, if you can do that, you're going to have some very strong hamstrings and glutes, right? And obviously in the gym, it is much easier to do these with like a proper setup designed for glute ham raises and Nordic curls. But obviously if you don't have access to a gym right now, obviously we need to improvise at home. And so obviously, first of all, before I do mention these options, I do want to mention that please make sure that your knees are protected with some soft padding with this, because this is going to place a lot of stress and load on your knees, right? And so obviously, as I said, at home, you can improvise. Look at your surroundings. Look at the strongest, the most sturdiest places around your home that you can actually solidly anchor your ankles, right? So for me, what I found, the best options are obviously, if you've got a workout bench, that's awesome. You can do what I'm actually probably going to demonstrate in this video. Another one is if you've got a sofa, simply anchor your feet underneath there, or even your bed, or if you've got like a chair or a long bench outside, whatever, just look around and look where you can actually anchor your feet so they can actually stay in place, and most importantly where, you know, your home furniture or equipment actually stays in place, because, you know, not only do you want to make gains, you also want to make sure that, you know, you train safe and don't damage anything, right? Now, last but not least, we're going to cover the core, and of course, as most of us refer to as the abdominal muscles, because that's the only part of the core most people give a damn about. But anyway, right, with the core, we've got the anterior core and the posterior core. We're firstly going to cover the anterior core, and obviously, as most people know, as the abdominal muscles, right? And the best bodyweight exercise we could do is hanging knee raises. Now, whether you're at a gym or at home, we all know that the best way to train our abs and our core is through bodyweight exercise, right? But obviously, at the same time, I can understand that when you're starting out with calisthenics bodyweight training, that hanging knee raises and hanging leg raises may be too hard, as it was for myself. So what you want to do instead, that I did myself, is simply do lying leg raises. So you're lying on the floor and actually doing this where it's slightly easier on your abs and your core so you can actually get stronger. And then as you get stronger with these, you can actually get on the bar and do hanging knee raises. And then once that gets too easy, you can actually straighten your legs and do hanging leg raises. So not only are you actually going to further increase the strength in your core and your abs, you're also going to get a lot of more strengthening and also mobility in your hip flexors and quads as well. Just kind of like killing two birds with one stone, you know. And then on the other side, the posterior chain, the posterior core, more so the erector spinae, the glutes and the hamstrings, right? We will do this with arch body raises, right? And honestly, all of this can be done on the floor. Someone who's more of a beginner, newer to this, can actually do unilateral arch body raises. And as you get stronger, instead of doing it unilaterally, you can do it bilaterally by shifting your weight both sides equally at the same time. And as you get stronger with these, you can actually add isometric pauses at the top, such as pausing at the top for like 1 to 2 seconds, because that's gonna increase the strength and stimulus placed on the muscles in your posterior core to grow bigger and stronger over time. Right, so taking these 8 exercises and structuring this into a simple full body routine, what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out here of what an example may look like for you based on the variations, progressions, sets and reps, all that good stuff. And obviously it's important for you to actually pick the exercise that's best for your strength level, and the rep ranges and that just being a guide. And just remember, of course, we know that in the gym, if we want to grow bigger and stronger muscles, we need to bring intensity to our workout. So make sure if you're doing this in the comfort of your own home, don't use the term of comfort of your own home to apply to your workouts, because you've got to get seriously uncomfortable if you want to see results. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, as I've shown myself through all the content I've made over the last couple of years of at-home workouts, how I've been able to do this myself, and also showing client testimonials and client results of how they've also been able to build muscle and lose fat at home, and also how you can do the same as well through simply the right guidance, strategy, and direction. Now, the structure of this routine is actually somewhat similar, not the exact same, but kind of similar to level 6 of one of my new monthly programs on my app, the JG Calisthenics coaching app. So if you yourself are actually looking for a clear plan, guidance, and direction to be able to actually build more muscle and lose more fat while training at home with minimal to no equipment, then you can actually check out the first link in the description below to check out my new beginner training plans, where each monthly plan actually costs less than, 2 whole pizzas, which is pretty insane when you kind of think about it, you know? So as I said, if you actually like this video, you enjoy these exercises and the workout as a whole, then make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below. What I'd love to know is what you're doing right now, training at home, based on what's going on in the world right now. How are you improvising and getting in those gains? As obviously all of us have got no other option but to work out at home. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Ding, ding, ding. Seriously missing out on a lot of gains if you're not on board the Gains Train Express. Share this with a friend or friends you believe would benefit from these gains. And as that's enough from me today, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, my friend. And as a crew member of the Gains Train Express, keep moving forward. I'll see you in the next video.